This is it. We are going live. This is Rick James Stories, Volume 16. And this is live. What's up, God signs? Now, needless to say, we all know Rick James is pretty messed up at this point. When Rick made Glow, this was his comeback album. Rick took about a year off, and not really. And this is gonna blow y'all minds. Guaranteed this is gonna blow your mind. This video may have to be 2 parts, as it's the most intense Rick James video we've done with everything involved. Now, when Prince and Michael Jackson came out, they almost obliterated Rick James. Rick James was very disappointed in the way his last album was perceived, and Ebony Eyes wasn't picked up the way it was supposed to, and things didn't happen. He went into a heavy drug usage till the studio had to put out just a Reflections album while he was doing other work. Rick was kind of taking a break. Now, during this time of the break, Prince's Purple Rain came out and just obliterated everything. Michael Jackson Thriller came out and revolutionized how music videos can be made. Now, here comes Purple Rain. Prince's Purple Rain. When Purple Rain came out, now this put Prince on a worldwide scale map, because not only was he making his own music and performing, he was acting. And it blew everybody away. Like, man, Prince, he's deeper than everybody. And this is still like some people's top 5 greatest movies of all time. Prince is like one of the, if not the greatest musicians or artists of all time. Now, when this has happened, everybody's Prince crazy. And Rick James see Purple Rain and goes, oh man, you see that, man? I could have made that. I could have made a motherfucking Purple Rain. My story way deeper than that. He even kissed like a faggot. That ain't love making, that's just sex. Wait till I make my movie. So Rick James wanted to make a movie, and so Barry Gordy likes the idea because he signed to Gordy Records. So Rick James is pitching the idea. Rick James come over here. Rick James has never acted a day in his life except for the videos. All he does, he don't act. So they was like, Rick, you don't act. Man, I ain't nothing to it. You think Prince can act? The man was quiet in almost every scene. He said about 10 words the whole movie. He sung all his dialogue. Think Elvis Presley can act? Man, I'm Rick James. So, so when that went off, he was like, here's the story, right? I'm a musician. Okay? I'm a talented musician. And I'm destroying my life. Everything's messing up. And I gotta get it back on track. And the only way to get it back on track, the love of my life is getting ready to leave me. And I gotta get everything back on track for her and get it all fixed because of the love. That's what my movie gonna be about. Barry Gordy like, that sound like Purple Rain. You just described Purple Rain. But it's Rick James. It ain't no faggot Prince. It's Rick James movie. So Barry Gordy wanted to bring out a remake of Bruce Lee and reintroduce that because the martial arts phase and everything was going on during that time. Barry Gordy decided, let's make this movie here. His first movie that he wanted to put out himself and use movies to advertise his musician. Enter Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. Now, here's the thing. Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. Rick James wanted to be in this film. And they were thinking about making Rick James show enough. But they got an actor who could do it. Rick James wanted to be show enough. Now, the problem that kicked off, they even got, Prince had broken up with Vanity. He had just broke up with Vanity, but he still owned her rights. He owned her name, everything. Rick James was doing the track for the movie. He was going to be on the soundtrack. And they said Prince didn't want Rick James on the soundtrack. That's not the truth. That had nothing to do with it whatsoever. I'm going to tell you what happened. Rick James made a song as this is a Motown soundtrack and he's on Gordy Records. They still was going to put a Rick James song on there. Rick James made a song because they told him about the movie and all this. It's going to be basically a music soundtrack. And this guy who's a martial artist, he has a golden glow named Leroy. He has the glow. So you need to make a song about the glow. So Rick James went and made a song about the glow. The song, they didn't end up taking it. Rick James was ticked off. And it was basically because Rick was fueled up on a lot of drugs, allegedly, at that time. And they ended up, he was taking so long to make it, but he ended up naming his album with the song that he wrote called Glow. See the resemblance? Do you see the resemblance? See the glow? See the glow? So he made this song called The Glow, right? Now, here's the thing. Rick is finna make this into his album now that he's been taking a long time to complete. Because he was doing other stuff. Mary Jane Girls, he was doing all that, but drugs also was in the mix. So, now, Rick James comes out with the video for Glow. And what Rick wanted to do was turn Glow into the movie he was describing to Barry Gordy. Barry Gordy already told Rick James the movie is that you're describing is Purple Rain. I'm not finna make a movie that's we just seen. If you make this movie, Rick, people are going to say that's Purple Rain. Rick was so defiant. They end up turning it into a video like Thriller. He's like, I want a video that's like Michael Jackson them do. I want a long video. I want a long. Y'all gonna pay for it. So they wanted to let Rick expand and let Rick do his acting. So if you look at Rick's outfit, Don't it look kind of familiar? Don't it look a little familiar? He ain't looking like Rick James. He looking like Prince. He dressing like Prince. Not that outfit, Frank. He was doing his movie again, Purple Rain, that he described. He saw Purple Rain and said, I'm going to make a movie. And he ended up making Purple Rain. Now he's getting ready to go on stage to perform. He's in the dressing room.
What does it look like I'm feeling? What are you doing? You're throwing it all away, man. What are you worried about, Frank? Your next Mercedes payment?
No. Because in 5 minutes you're going to be out on that stage. I have to drag you out there.
Would you do me a favor, Frank? Why don't you get out of here?
Get out of here!
What does this scene look like to you? Purple Rain. Purple Rain. Yep. Purple Rain. The rigged, and look at the scene outside the dressing room. Okay, look at the scene. What does this scene look like? Purple Rain. I'm like, Purple Rain? Rick James movie. Purple Rain 2.
Hi, baby. Where you at?
I was standing outside, trying to think of a way to say goodbye to you.
It's just not my lucky day, is it? You leaving me? You don't love me anymore?
No. I do love you, Rick.
I don't understand. I just don't understand. That's some consolation, you know? You love me, but you're leaving me anyway.
I'm leaving you because I can't watch you do this to yourself anymore.
Do what to myself? What am I doing to myself?
Baby, if you don't know, I'm so sorry for you.
You feel sorry for me? You feel sorry for me? I'm Rick James!
And that was his Purple Rain moment. See? I told you this was going to be the most revealing Rick James story you have ever heard. And I did it live. So, here's the thing. That album, Glow, that he wanted to make a movie about like Purple Rain, that didn't work out. The long video, the movie style video he made, it wasn't picked up on a lot of stations. The song didn't take off. people still cared about Prince and Michael Jackson now. And Rick James was like, it was cool. But that was, some people said, this is some of Rick's best work. But it was others who just, they had more to, to care about. Rick was the past. So Rick was upset. So Rick started blaming Barry Gordy again to do his job. So while he's blaming Barry Gordy to do his job, something magical happened. Because it saved Rick James' career. This album had some songs, but not a commercial #1 hit. He, at the same time, was working. The Last Dragon was a success. And the other guy, Glow song, which I'm glad he used. For you guys who want to know what that song is called, it's called Glow. That's the name of the video, Glow. And, right, Willie Hutch did the Glow. His Glow was better than Rick James. Rick James can't accept that. So that Willie Hutch's song was better than his. He blamed Prince because Vanity was in the movie. And Vanity all on the records. And what y'all gonna do, make Prince executive producer? Princeton had nothing to do with it at all. He was just managing, Vanity. And make sure she was right. They had already split. Had nothing to do with it. Willie Hutch song, as we all know. Let y'all go listen to the Glow and listen to Willie Hutch. When you got that glow, your body flow, you don't let go of the power of elevation. Shoot. When you got the glow, everybody know, everybody say, hey, tell you, so. Come on, beware the law, beware that you know that you got the blood. Man, shoot, you kidding me? It fit. Rick James Glow, Rick didn't get what they were asking for. Rick Glow is entirely different. So, Rick wanted to get more into acting. So something magical happened. He comes out with Party All the Time with Eddie Murphy. He was making the songs all together. So when Eddie wanted to make the song, they did Party All the Time. That should have been Rick's song. Rick would have been back in the mix. But he came back because he was with Eddie. Eddie was the biggest movie star ever at the time. And now he got Party All the Time with him and Rick James. Now they back. Rick is bigger than ever. This song was bigger than his album. Eddie Murphy's song that he gave Eddie Murphy, Party All the Time, was bigger than his album that he want to make the movie for. See, the problem that Rick missed was that Purple Rain, the soundtrack to Purple Rain, which is the album, is outstanding. It's outstanding work all the way through. It fits the movie. It's the theme for that movie. That's what makes the movie so good, because the songs go right to the movie. That's how it works. So he was going to basically make his own, as you saw, that was like a bootleg Purple Rain. And Rick, that was his first time ever acting. And it's hilarious because he's like, I don't got to act. I'm Rick James. So that's what made that legendary. That made all that legendary. But now things are finna open up like you will never believe when I continue this on the second part. This is just, now you got this foundation. This story will continue on Rick James Stories Part 17. You do not want to, believe me, you do not want to miss out on 17. Because this story continues. It's not over yet. No, the alligator don't join the band. But this continues. Oh yeah, they both were amazing. But Prince had way more range. Way more range. Rick had range, but not like Prince. Because Rick couldn't even play certain instruments. He could play the keyboard, but he can't program music. He couldn't, like, write music like that. But anyway, we will continue this. When will I make it? I'll try to make it and continue this story as quickly as I can. But I got to do other videos, other things. I got movie videos I got to put out. So I'm gonna be on the movie channel a while. I move faster. The blood flows when I move. I don't like to stand still in one spot. Think that need to be lost, buddy? That's all muscle, buddy. Look at that. That's muscle. It's a tricep. Linked up to a bicep. Look at the forearm. Look like a giant turkey leg. See that shirt? Civil War. Break somebody in half. Fee, fi, fo, fum. All of y'all who's up are dumb.